everybody. Welcome back to the High Roller Sports Betting Podcast with Coach and T here. Today we're going to talk a little NFL football. NFL for me is really fun. I really enjoy having money on the line on Sundays and watching teams play and really analyzing the games. And, you know, it just makes watching an NFL game, that experience, just that much more pleasurable. And I think it can be very profitable to you as well. And what T and I are going to talk about today is really some of the preseason numbers that we see of teams that are going to win the division, or what their odds are to win the division, and some overall over and under numbers for their win totals as well. I think there is some value out there that you can find, but once again, these are areas where you really want to shop lines, don't you, T?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, you really want to check your casinos out, see which ones are giving you the best lines possible so that you can maximize your profits on this, because it is an area where you will see a lot of difference from casino. Well, you won't see a big difference, but you will find some difference from casino to casino. And a little bit about how I break things down. I do my own power rankings. I do each team, and what I really take into consideration, I think some of the big factors. Number one, quarterback. Quarterback in the NFL is a lot. You're just not going to win ball games in the NFL if you don't have a quarterback that can flat out play. Another thing I take into considerations are the offensive and defensive line. Well, I take overall talent into consideration. In today's game, I really feel it's, do you have a quarterback? Can you protect the quarterback? Can you get after the quarterback? And I think everything else falls into play. Coaching staffs and their continuity with the front office, I think, comes into play as well. But I've seen great quarterbacks. You know, Tom Brady throughout the years has had good talent at his pass catching spots. But, you know, it was James White who set Super Bowl records when they played in the Super Bowl and came back on Atlanta. So I've seen, good NFL players become great NFL players, especially when they got the right play caller and the right coach. D, a little breakdown on how you break things down. Just kind of hit the high points.
So I do it a little bit differently. Some of the things that I really take into consideration, I agree with the quarterback, O-line, D-line being very important in the NFL. One of the things that you always hear is you can't handicap turnovers, and while that's true, to me, because so many games in the NFL are decided by one score or around one score,
Yeah.
If you turn the ball over and you have players who are more likely to turn the ball over,
Yeah.
that's something I take into account. Another one, penalties. And a lot of that goes back to like coaching staff and discipline
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But if you're a highly penalized offense, penalties just kill drives.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's tough to put up those points if every time you go on a drive, all of a sudden there's a hold, 10-yard penalty. Now you're 1st and 20 instead of 1st and 10 or 2nd and 6 or 7 if you run the ball. But then skill position I think is important. But I think, to your point, the quarterback can really make the wide receiver group.
Yeah.
The O-line can really help with all that as well, because if you give a quarterback time, a lot of these guys are talented. I mean, and we'll get into it, I mean, Justin Fields in Chicago is talented, but he's always running for his life.
Yeah.
That leads to him having more interceptions than touchdowns.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And we'll get into each one of those areas get into more detail as we go along with this podcast. We'll move on to let's go to the NFC East. Let's just switch gears. And for me, the NFC East, this is where I think there's value. Okay? This is where I think the books are missing it. I like the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not big on Jalen Hurts.
I'd say that's value. That's been the chalkiest play of.
No,
yes.
Well, look, the Cowboys are.
The Eagles have gone from like plus 400 down to under plus 200.
Okay, well, there's been a lot of
They
movement,
are-
and we filmed
they are
this.
chalk.
They filmed this too close to the. But I like the Philadelphia Eagles to win this division. I think they bring together everything that you need in order to win the division. I think we'll see a little bit of development from Jalen Hurts, enough that will help get them over the top. Their offensive line is elite.
Yes,
And that's what
they
I
are.
really like, and I think that will help make up for some issues that Jalen Hurts will have. I love their defense. It's getting a little older, but I still love what they do defensively. I think they bring a lot of things to the table, and that's why I've got them winning it. Actually, coming in second, another shocker here. And T actually turned me on to this one. I got to give him credit. He actually turned me on to this one because I hadn't thought about the schedule. The New York Football Giants. And in fact, I'll let him give the value play on this, but their schedule, ladies and gentlemen, take a look at that schedule and tell me that they shouldn't be favored in at least 7 games this year, if not more. And their win total, I think, is 6, but they'll be favored. Okay, so I think they're at 7. Look at that. That's some value. You want to surprise your buddies sitting around the table. Tell them, hey, the Giants are going to win at least 7 games, if not 8 games, maybe even more. They've got a schedule that's to die for. Daniel Jones, okay, might have to do something there. They've got good talent. I think they got enough talent that if they had an average schedule, the talent isn't good enough to be 500. They've got a below average. I mean, their schedule is great for them. Look for them to do something. The Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott is good. He's a good leader. He's good wearing the star on his helmet, the guy you want in front of the camera. I think the Jones clan has screwed this franchise up. 1 playoff win in the last 25 years. Yeah. Nobody wins this division back to back. That's another reason why I like the Eagles and not the Cowboys. Their offensive line used to be the best. I mean, I think 4 or 5 years ago, you could arguably say it was the best in football. Now it's
top 10.
Yeah, now I have them a little lower than that, but I'd say they're more middle of the pack. They've hemorrhaged defensive guys, and I just don't see it. And are they the football team, the Commanders, the Redskins, whatever they want to call themselves this year? Look to punt, be part of the C.J. Stroud lottery for next year. That's how I see it. T, what do you got?
So we'll start with what you kind of alluded to. I'm not telling everybody to rush to the window to bet this, but from a pure value standpoint, give me plus 800 on the Giants to win this division. From a value standpoint, you look at their schedule.
Read that off.
They play the Panthers at home. That's non-division.
Favored.
They play the Bears at home. That's
Favored.
non-division. They play Jacksonville.
Favored. Even though they're on the road, the Giants.
They're favored at home against Washington.
That's 4.
They play the Lions at home.
That's
They're
5.
favored in that game.
Yeah, that'd be 5 in my opinion.
And then where's the Commanders, Giants? And they play the Houston Texans at home.
Oh, that's 6.
When you look at their schedule, win total is at 7. And I'm not saying they're going to go 6-0 in those games, but I also would be surprised if they don't upset somebody in their division, whether that be the Eagles at home, the Cowboys at home, Washington at Washington.
Well, at Washington, yeah.
One of those. I mean, I doubt they're gonna go 1-5.
Yeah.
In those division games.
No.
So if they win the games they're favored, they've got a real shot. And the Cowboys have the highest win total in this division at 10.5. I don't know if they get to. I don't think they get to 11.
Take the under.
If this is a situation where 10-7 wins this division,
Giants got a shot. They're gonna be. They're gonna be, folks. I'm here to tell you, you're gonna get to week 12 with that ticket in your pocket, and that might be the time to sell.
Another game that is interesting, week 16 or 17 now because they play there's 18 weeks.
Yeah.
They play at home against the Indianapolis Colts. Now we touched on this a little bit earlier. That division is a 2-team race.
Yeah.
There's the Colts and the Titans.
Yeah.
If the Colts have that division sewn up already,
oh yeah, there'd be rest.
Is Jonathan Taylor going to play in that game?
Well, I'd play him, but
I mean,
he'd get
Quentin
10
Nelson?
carries. Yeah, Quentin Nelson. No,
Are the Colts worried about playing the Giants on January 1st in New York when it's probably going to be freezing?
Or what's the next game on that? The last game they play the Eagles. And if the Eagles got it wrapped up, I can't tell you how many times the Packers have drop kicked the game to Detroit at the end of the year, just because they got everything wrapped up already. So it's crazy things like that.
Now, the Giants, Daniel Jones can't turn the ball over, especially untimely turnovers.
Yeah.
They have to get better in the red zone. They were last in red zone touchdown percentage a year ago. They had the most turnovers a year ago. But plus 800 in this division, that I think the difference from the top, when it comes to wins, now the Eagles are more talented than the Giants.
Yeah.
I think the Cowboys, even though they've gotten rid of some of that talent, are more talented than the Giants. But when you're looking at it, I'm not going to bet the Cowboys at just better and even money. I'm not going to bet the Eagles at its current spot at plus $1.80.
Yeah.
I'm not on Washington. And the Giants at plus 800 when there's 3.5 games are separating the top win total from the bottom win total with their schedule.
Yeah. Like I said, when you told me that earlier in the week, I went, wow, I hadn't looked that deeply into the Giants' schedule yet.
Because, you look at it and they're not that good.
Exactly. You look at, I was just looking at the team and the talent.
And they may go under. But from a value standpoint.
Yeah, a value bet.
That would be the team I would make a bet on in this division. Am I going to do it? Probably not going to actually get to the window on that. If we do, it's not going to be a normal unit for us. But
to lay money down, and where I was going with it in an earlier comment, you put money on it, and then all of a sudden, as the season goes on, you sell that ticket on secondary market, and you may double your money on it.
Potentially.
Because they're going to be there. They're going to have
They have
wins.
the schedule to be
They have the schedule to
They've
be
got to
close,
still win those games.
so that number is going to go from plus 800. If it goes to plus 400 and you can get out and double your money, that's different things you can look at that way.
Yeah.
Anything else you got on the East you want to share with the folks?
It's not a very good division.
Yeah.
And the Eagles have caught a lot of steam. They've been the real popular play in this division. To me, at plus 400 where they were, or wherever it might not have been quite that much.
Earlier numbers on it.
That play would have been better because I do think they're the best team in this division. I'm not going to bet it at plus 180 where a lot of that value is.
And I'm even looking at it right now, and I got plus 135 right now. So there's no value there at all. So anyhow, like the Eagles, I agree.